I'm pretty fired up about this because first off, last night was just insane. Like, so I know, like you said you hosted what was it, a Christmas party, Christmas event?
Yeah, my family every year has like a major Christmas party, like because I'm one of 36 grandkids.
Oh my
So
goodness. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
Okay.
Condoms weren't a thing back in the day.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There was like
uh,
that time period. I got you.
that's why there's so many Bears fans that are delusional like me. But
Oh,
uh,
okay.
what happened was like my aunt had to cancel super last, like literally on Friday. She's like, I can't host anymore, and I just stepped up to the plate.
Good one.
And we all had a little too good of a time last night. But I'm
Hey,
feeling good about this Bears game today. So that's all I'm
and
saying.
it's an hour early there, right? Am I have that backwards?
Yeah, no, it's so it's 10:45 where you are. It's
Mhm.
9:45 where I am.
Look at that. See, look, we got to appreciate. First off, you don't know who this is. This is my man Nick. We would do the Roundtable Sports Show every Wednesday now. He's usually on there representing the Bears, man. I appreciate him for joining this. We're going to ask him some Bears questions. But before we do that, just kind of lay it out there. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so hi everybody. My name is Nick Rohde. I'm part of Official J Shy, just another year Chicago Bears, and we cover all things Chicago Bears news related, rumors, anything like that. You can find us on Twitter at Official J Shy, on YouTube, just another year Chicago Bears, and Instagram Official J Shy. Excited to be working with Dose right here. We've been doing the roundtable for a little bit, and I think
Yeah,
you and I have the most fun because you have nothing to lose because you're number
it's true.
one. I
It's
have
true.
nothing to lose because I'm in last. And then the other two are like,
Right, right.
but I throw up. You know me. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. We're still in this thing.
See, and I absolutely love that. By the way, that's like the best part. It makes me laugh, but I love it because I'm like, yo, if I was in his spot, I would be saying the exact same thing. I would be telling people while we're about to run the table. I'd be looking at the scenarios already. Like I love it. So I love the energy that you bring. It's fantastic. All right, let's do this. Let's just start jumping into it because I just got like random questions I want to throw at you, and we'll get to the score prediction at the end. But the thing that I asked, I had Vil on, last time we played the Bears. There hasn't been like a huge gap between this game and that game. But the two like common questions I got to ask is if you're the Lions, right, and they're looking at the Bears, what would you say is the thing you got to look out for? Like, what do we got to come in as Lions fans and say, hey, man, look out for that. That could be a problem today.
I mean, I feel like he does it every time we play the Lions, and I was there last year at Soldier Field when he did it. But Justin Fields rushing against you guys. I mean, those rollouts, the running up field. I think so. Last game, I know he ran over 100 yards against the Lions, and then last year against the Lions, he broke the record for most rushing yards by a quarterback. I think it was like in a 4-game span or something, and then it was on his way to break the other records he broke. But I know he loves to rip it up. And also on top of it, this is an advantage that Lions fans need to look out for. And you guys know, and this is my trash talk with you, is that we play outside. We play in Midwest weather. And the field today looks the best it's looked in ever at Soldier Field. Like they posted a picture of it today. And I think it's going to be a huge factor because if guys can actually get their cleats in the ground, not let the weather of the rain and like the slight snow we have right now, I'm looking outside, like it's going to be a factor for the Lions today.
Okay, so are you in Chicago? I'm assuming you are.
Yeah. So I actually live right outside of where they're going to build the potential new stadium in Arlington Heights. So I live in that area right now. So not too far from the city.
Is it raining right now? So it's raining right now, you're saying?
There's a slight mist outside my window. And when I checked this morning and I walked my hungover ass outside, I was like, ooh, it's going to snow. Because it was 30. It was like 35 or 36 degrees. It's cold, man.
Okay, so this is what because like this is a factor, and like this morning I was like, okay, I got to look at this. So like I just found this website and I saw that too. I was like, oh, that temperature looks kind of low. That temperature being at 35, it's not 50. So I'm hoping they have all these 1% here, but I'm not feeling good about it, because they got the humidity. They all say 1%, so I don't know what that means. All right, and you're saying it's misty there, so now I know that's completely false. So here's the thing: I'm a little bit worried about that. All right, I'm just hoping that that's really the main thing. Like it's okay if it's cold. Because 35 is not too bad. You can get through that. But it's like, dang, if it's rainy and stuff, that throws everything off. Especially when it's going to become even more of a run fest likely in this game. I want to ask you this, because when we were on that, I was on Bill's channel and they were talking about kind of the weather and how they wanted to see more rushing the football. So when you look at the Bears, like, is that something that you're disappointed with? Like, do you think in games like this, they should lean a little bit? They were talking about playing heavier personnel. I don't know if I've noticed that as a Lions fan, but is that something that you noticed as a Bears fan?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I agree with Bill on that one. It is bothersome, but I mean, there's so many factors that we have no control of at this point. I am the total definition of a couch coach. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
just like going back to the weather, like as a whole, I think that today is going to be a huge run game too. Not only because like the Bears have one of the best rushing offenses, same with the Lions, but on top of it, I don't know if you saw, but the wind is coming from the northwest, and that wind tunnel in Soldiers Field with the lake, it's going to be it's going to feel probably 10 degrees colder. And on top of it, all throws, unless you're throwing bullets, they're going to be wiggling a little bit. And then also kicking is going to be a huge factor today too on that field.
Hey, see, look, this is why I'm glad he's here, to be honest. But at the same time, I didn't need to hear that. I'm looking at those numbers and I'm confident that you give me that kind of information. That's the information that I don't have. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you're here for that. All right, let's flip it real quick. I want to go the opposite side. When you look at the Bears, because I think you can best answer this, because I always look at different areas of your team. I remember when we did the show, for the last Bears game, I brought up the second cornerback position. And I saw you made a post about Tyreek Stevenson, the stats that he's posted this season. So I asked about, like, okay, who is your number two in this game? I think there was injuries. So I want to ask that question first, but then the second part would be, outside of that, where would you say this is a weakness of the Bears Lions should look to attack?
Ooh, okay. So to start, you're saying our second cornerback? Are you saying, or
yeah? That's just a question of like, who should we expect to play opposite of Jalen Johnson in this game?
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's going to be Tyreek Stevenson because he is back from injury. Thank God, because he has the last couple of games he's been doing really well, and he played well against the Lions. He did have one huge. I mean, there's always that one play that everyone looks at that shadows the rest of his performance. But he's had a really couple big last games. I mean, he's on track to have over 100 tackles this year and 13 pass deflections. So I'm liking what he's doing. He's going to be a big factor today, I think, for you guys. But Terrell Smith, the rookie that we took out of Minnesota, he has been balling when he is healthy. He had mono, which I totally forgot about mono. Like that's like a high school illness. But he had mono for 8 weeks and it knocked him out. But he came back. First game back, he had 6 tackles, pass deflection, and then I believe he wasn't on a fumble recovery. He forced it. So he's going to be a big factor in that secondary for you guys. And today's Eddie Jackson's birthday. I'm going to be straight with everybody. Not an Eddie Jackson guy at the moment. I'm really just annoyed with him. He was my favorite player for a long time. It's the progression. The digression has just gotten worse. But it is his birthday today at home. He's going to want to get an interception because there's got to be some incentive in his contract if he gets an interception. So he needs the money for when he goes out later tonight.
Okay, that's the stuff we need to know. That's where I see you, Leaf, in the building. How you guys doing, chat? All right. So you bring up Terrell Smith because they're both rookies this season. Terrell Smith, like, I remember there was a lot of thought, like, man, Terrell Smith, he might even be better this season. So, like, if you were looking at it, they're both playing out. Neither one of those. They kick it to the slot, right? Kyler Gordon usually handles the slot business. So you're saying you think it's going to be Tyreek Stevenson ahead of Smith, or is that something maybe you'll see with rotation today?
There's going to be a heavy rotation between the two because Smith is so much bigger than Stevenson. He's like 2 inches bigger, 25 pounds heavier. Like, he's a big, hard-hitting DB. So depending on the game plan, like if they go run heavy, like with Montgomery and Gibbs, they're definitely going to be putting in Smith more because Smith can take down runners a lot more. But I'm not saying Tyreek Stevenson can't. Tyreek Stevenson pops people, and that's why he gets so many flags for, late hits or unnecessary roughness, which I love the energy if it was 15 years ago because he wouldn't be getting those flags. But it's going to be a heavy rotation between those two. And on top of that, like you kind of brought him up, Kyler Gordon has been on fire lately, like single-handedly saved the Bears game last week with 2 major plays. I mean, he took down Hawkinson, who is 4 inches, 50 pounds heavier than him, and didn't let him go 1 yard. We talked about it on round table, but and One Bar knew exactly what we were talking about. He's like, yeah, dude, it was so embarrassing watching 5'11" Kyler Gordon taking down 6'4", TJ Hawkinson. So it's
Hey,
going to be a factor there.
No, and that's like I think when you look at that defense, right? So the Montez Sweat had a lot of the attention with the trade, but like when you really look at that defense, if you just took out the defensive line, we just looked at linebacker, corner, safety. That's a strong group. Like I know you're not feeling Eddie Jackson right now, but that's a strong group across the board, and they're super young. Kyler Gordon, you're right, he's taken off because I remember the first time we played you guys, I was like, yo, you got to look out for this dude. This guy's kind of a problem. All right, this is what I want to ask you about though, because for me, I always come back to the defensive line. Now, I understand the statistics are there, the run defense stats are there, but to me, the matchup coming into this one is a little bit different because we don't have Frank Ragnow. And I'm going to ask you about your injuries, even though there's not a ton going on there. It doesn't seem like. But what is like that? What is your confidence level in that defensive line handling business today? Specifically, kind of the interior, right, between Billings and Jones. What is your confidence level there?
So Billings has been a huge surprise this year. I mean, we got him on a cheap 1-year contract, and he's been one of the better. I think he's top 15 in pressure from the nose tackle position. So he's been doing really well, and he did really well last time we played you guys. And that's impressive for both because like he is a tough guy to take down. I don't know if you know this, but Billings was the strongest high school prospect in Texas his senior year when he was there before he went off to college. And there's a video of him at Hallis Hall squatting like 780 pounds, like multiple times. Dude is just an absolute tank. He doesn't get a lot of tackles, but that's because we signed him to create opportunities for other people. Mm-hmm. And when we had only had Yannick Ngakoue, he can only do so much because he's getting double teamed nearly every single play. Now that we have Sweat, which, I mean, you saw last time we played you guys, Goff had 3 interceptions. He also got sacked by Sweat. The Bears pressure, I believe the Bears are now number 12 in pressure over the last 4 games since we got Sweat, and we were 30th before we got him. So, the impact has been massive. And also your offensive line is so talented, like young, knows how to protect Goff. I mean, if Goff was a mobile quarterback like Fields, like the Lions offense would be limitless in my opinion. Because I
hear you.
Because I mean, Sweat got to Goff, like when he sacked him in the 4th quarter last game, that I was like, oh my God, like if that was Fields would have totally beat Sweat out.
Oh yeah. On that rollout, like, he just ran him down. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, and that's actually a good point because you probably know these stats better than me. But specifically, like, so the blitz rate, this is something that I don't remember what the number was going into the last time we played you guys, but I had heard like it has went up. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe you have a better insight on that, but I did see it's kind of like middle of the pack, but I know that it's like when you guys bring the blitz, it feels like when I watch Chicago, it's not about like bringing 8 guys. It's about that 5th player. And then when they bring that 5th player, it becomes a problem because it's the linebackers and they're very good at hiding it. So has the blitz rates also went up?
Yeah. So blitz rates. So Bass is going to love this one. The blitz rate against the Packers was 3.7%, and it's only up from there.
True.
So and then when we got rid of Williams, our old defensive coordinator, or he resigned. No one knows what happened with that, by the way. We pretty much our blitz rate has slowly gotten higher, and this is where I give Flus the tip of the cap. Like he is a defensive guru. That's why he was a great defensive coordinator. I just don't think he's a good head coach, or he never had a good mentorship to be a good head coach. So he's been learning on the job, which if he wins today, which I'm obviously hoping for, but any given Sunday, like if it somehow gets pulled off, that's kind of the factor. But going back to your question, the blitz rate. So the blitz rate is now actually more flirting in like the 20 and 30%. Which is a healthy dosage. Like it's not every other play, not like the Vikings who do it literally every single play. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a factor. I like that we are blitzing more and it's working, but we didn't have the talent before the Montez Sweat trade in order to get that kind of pressure. Justin Jones is a good player. He's our Walter Payton guy of the year, which, shout out to him. He's been on the show a few times too. He's a really nice guy, but he would fit better in a different defensive scheme. Like if he was more of like a bull rusher, like he is not that type because he's only 6'3". When I say only 6'3", 300, like a defensive lineman.
Right. It's different.
You're thinking 350 plus. He's a lighter guy, so he'll have a factor in today's game too. The biggest disappointment for me And the reason why the blitz rate wasn't higher, I think, is because Yannick Ngakoue's play. Like, we brought him in because he's a double-digit type sack guy, and he only has 3 this year. I'm hoping he gets red hot at the end of the year, maybe ends with 6 or 7. But that's why our blitz percentage has been so abysmal. But like you said, we have the linebackers that, like, we have TJ Edwards, we have Jack Sanborn. Those guys are so fast. And then Tremaine Edmonds at 6'5" with his long ass arms. Like, and over the middle, like, the Bears can do those type of blitz packages.
Okay, well, I want to kind of build on that. First off, give a shout to KV Alto in the building. I see you with the 20-piece. What? Hey, I appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I'm reading it. I see y'all in here. Man, Bobo's in the building. Okay, let me ask you this, though, because I know you brought this up immediately on the round table afterwards. I couldn't remember your exact stat, but I thought you said you threw 19 screens, 3 of them were positive. And you just brought up the blitz. And honestly, I went back and I was watching that Vikings game 2 days ago, and I was like, man, maybe we should blitz every single play. I'm just like there's a part of me that's like, maybe we should just do exactly what Minnesota did. I mean, is that something that you're like concerned about? Like, if a team just started just blitzing you guys extremely heavily?
Yeah, well, yeah, I hope you guys don't, because you guys have a very scary defensive line, even with that injury that just happened to you guys. McNeil, right? Was that the injury?
McNeil, yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be a factor for Chicago too, because our center's situation is terrible. So that's big for the Bears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I honestly, when I played football, I was on defense, and I'm all about the blitz, and I wish the Bears did it more. But at the same time, we just don't have the raw talent. I mean, like, our second string defensive line is just so young with Dexter and Pickens. And you really can't blitz an interior guy. He's going at it no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I would love, like you were kind of saying, I would love it if the Bears did that. They blitz every time. But from an offensive viewpoint, it does scare me with the screen packages, because Luke Getsy, like, that's all is on his scorecard probably is screens. Yeah. Oh, we're going to go to the right or left side. You can't do a screen over the middle. I mean, you can, but like, I think that's a very dumb idea. But it's just, that has to stop. Like, 3 out of 19 with positive yards. Like, I mean, I had to rewatch the game twice, and it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
No, I mean, that's and I was just curious. I was like, that's because it's like, okay, there's other ways to handle a blitz outside of a screen. You know, like, there's other ways to deal with it, but they kept going to it. So I was like, man, maybe we should try something like that. Okay, we'll transition in 1 second here, but I want to ask you about this. So this gets brought up on the round table, but I would do the same thing. I would do the exact same thing. I would be saying we could make the playoffs too. But when you look at this schedule, okay, so there's us. Obviously, we're taking the Lions in this one. I know you agree with me there. But outside of this game, but I'm looking at the next
little shot, by the way. that was smooth.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking. I mean, outside of this game, right? But you guys have like really winnable games coming up. I think you probably look at it, right? Cleveland, now with their quarterback situation, Arizona, Atlanta, Green Bay, like. Do you view this as if somehow, we pulled this out today, we could legitimately make the playoffs? Like, what is your real confidence level there? Because when I look at this, I know I'm a Lions fan, but I say we're the toughest team you guys have left, and you get it at home. So, I mean, where are you kind of at with the remainder of the schedule?
So I'm going to my tweet, the tweet that I brought up and read on the round table, just to get everybody fired up. So the Bears have a 1.8% right now. No denial of that. But we're in the hunt. Now, let me just put this out there, is that Green Bay is 2 games ahead of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And Baz wasn't feeling so confident against this Giants team. This Giants team has been upset city. They have been a spoiler, like the Bears want to be today. Yeah. So I'll give you the break. I'll try to do it in a minute. So everyone just stick with me while I do this. So in order for the Bears to make the playoffs, we're not getting the North. Like, I give that to you guys. And by the way, everyone that's watching, I am a Lions fan. That's my number 2 team in the NFC North. Like, I am so happy for you guys that I want a hat that says grit. Like, that's like the one you're wearing. Because I just love Dan Campbell. Great guy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But so how the Bears can sneak into the playoffs, it starts this week. Bears obviously have to get a win against the Lions. The Packers, they can still beat the Giants, and Bears don't have to worry about that. So let's act like they do. But if they lose, it changes the whole scenario. but we need Las Vegas to beat Minnesota because then the Bears. So right now the tiebreaker goes to Minnesota because Minnesota has more points against us. But the Bears beat the Raiders. If the Vikings lose to the Raiders, then the Bears own the tiebreaker between the two. That's that one. Then the following week we play Cleveland, who I'm not afraid of Joe Flacco. Also, we play outside. So it's practically going to be a home game because Bears travel well. Even though the doghouse is a little bit of a crazy place to go to. I think it's going to be a good game. So then the Bears beat Cleveland. That's when we need Minnesota to lose a couple games here. We need the Packers to lose a couple games here. But the Bears then play Arizona at home. Not worried about that. And when we lock with the Patriots win last week, now the Bears can beat Arizona comfortably to stick with that number 1 pick. We need Minnesota to lose that week. And then we need Green Bay can win that week. It doesn't matter. Right. Atlanta comes to town. They don't do well outside. We beat them. I think I'm missing a game. I know we played Green Bay the last week.
Yeah, Green Bay last week.
So I don't have the schedule. Do you have the schedule out in front of you? Sorry.
Yeah. You got it's us, and then it's Cleveland, Arizona, Atlanta, Green Bay.
Oh, okay. So that was everybody. So
you hit them all. Yep.
So we need Green Bay to just lose one game, and then Minnesota to lose to you guys. And actually, no, I'm sorry. We need Minnesota to beat Green Bay. We need Minnesota to lose to you guys in week 18. And then that gives us the chance to play an 8-8 versus 8-8 in week 18 against the Green Bay Packers. So,
okay.
I'm any given Sunday. And everyone's like the Packers have the easiest schedule to close out the season. The Bears are 3 behind them. So I feel pretty good about it.
No, I love that. Okay. I want to ask you this question. My man just jumped in here, so I'm just going to get him in here real quick. My man, Let's Talk Lions. I see you. I think he's getting hooked up. I don't know. We'll let him do his thing. I wanted to get him hopped in here though, because he's sitting backstage, but I want to ask you this, Nick. So this draft class, I know I was like a big Zach Pickens guy. Like I liked Zach Pickens a lot for us personally. Who has been like the rookie to you that you think's had the most impressive season? Like maybe not the top pick, he's been the best, but like who's been the most impressive to you?
Ooh, okay. So from a rookie standpoint or just in general?
Yeah, just like draft pick.
Darnell Wright.
CDFA too.
Darnell Wright by far. I mean, like we've never had a good right tackle like ever, at least in my John Tate on the 2006 Super Bowl team. Like that was the last good right tackle that I remember. And Darnell Wright took on Max Crosby with one arm when we played the Raiders and only gave up 2 pressures. Like, I love it. He's been a great pick so far. I think he has a shot at winning, like being on the rookie team or something. He is having a really good season. And shout out to Poles. He evaluated talent super well there. Honorable mention to Terrell Smith again, though. Like Terrell Smith, 5th rounder, has been just balling out, dude. Yeah, I'm about it, though. It's been a good draft class so far for Chicago. I like Zach Pickens, too. You don't hear his name as much, unfortunately, but Darnell Wright's the guy.
Yeah, it seems like he hasn't popped yet this year, which I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, I don't know that the snaps have necessarily been there either. I think Gervin Dexter, like, I didn't know how to feel about that guy, and it feels like he's actually done pretty well in the NFL. I want to throw this on the screen. Hopefully, the people can see it at home. But so this, okay, just break down to the people what we're looking at here. What is this?
So Dion and I, after our last show on the Roundtable this past Wednesday, I'm part of a scholarship program that helped me get through college. And what I wanted to do was kind of get a little crazy with them, get a little engagement, also get them known. It's called College Bound Opportunities. It helps first-generation college students in order to afford and get the mentorship that they need to get through college. And I kind of wanted to give back. So I asked Dion, I was like, hey, you want to make a crazy parlay? And, we take all the donations and donate it. He's like, hell yeah. So this 14-leg parlay was before we could choose. This is literally everything we could have done without choosing players, because of Wednesday night, they didn't have player props yet. But this is it. It's a 14-leg parlay, 150,000 plus odds. I mean, I think we built a pretty good one. Yeah, that's just my opinion, though.
You know what? I like it. I've been thinking about the last couple of days. Hey, Let's Talk Lions is in the building. I mean, you're looking at this too. Do you like what you see?
Bro, you know what?
You're seeing on the screen?
It's pretty good. Otherwise, or other than Riley Patterson to make the extra point. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? You might be right. We were talking about the weather. He was bringing up the tunnel that we're playing in. I mean, look, man, you might be right on that one. If that's the one that we missed, I'm be very disappointed. Okay, we're gonna kind of get this thing, wrapped a little bit here. But the last thing that I want to touch on before we get to score prediction, we look at your injury report. Is there anything like that stands out to you? I see Tyler Scott's out. I mean, that one doesn't seem like a massive loss specifically just because of what you have receiver wise, but I want to ask you that question because that's a shorter one. And then the part 2 to that would be give me a match. I'm putting you on the spot, but give me a specific matchup, maybe player versus player, position versus position group that you're like, this is the matchup for the game. This is going to be the difference.
So from an injury standpoint, one that really kind of hits home a little bit different is the Yannick Ngakoue one with his knee injury. So I'm a little nervous about that because that came out of nowhere. We were on a bye. We had a long bye on top of it. And I was like, oh, crap. Like, what did he do in order to tweak it? Like, was it non-contact? Like, he was fine in practice, and suddenly it went limited. I was like, all right, that's a new one. Wasn't sure if he maybe, Wine Wednesday or something, or like went out for a bit, fell off a table like some other Bears players have in the past. But it's all good. So I was a little nervous about that, but then he went to full practice on Friday. So I'm hoping, but I see there being a potential of a heavy rotation because they're going to probably throw Dominique Robinson out there or, DeMarcus Walker, which I would rather have Yannick out there. I love DeMarcus, great player, a lot of energy, but Yannick's just a different type of player.
Okay.
And then, my bad. Yeah. From a key matchup.
Yep.
I'm honestly going to go Goff versus Edmonds. Reason why is because that's a pretty, like, our coverage over the middle is super good. But against tight ends for some reason this year, we are not doing great. Like wide receivers, running backs, good to go. Tight ends are our kryptonite right now, unless Kyler Gordon's tackling Hawkinson out of bounds. Like that's the only time this year I've seen us successfully go against the tight end. So I would say whichever tight end that you guys have in plus Goff versus our linebackers. That's going to be the biggest one. Edmonds is a pro or a Pro Bowler. Goff, talented quarterback, which by the way, Jared Goff's my number one NFC North quarterback right now. I say it with pride.
This is why
I say it with pride. Not Justin Fields has not earned that. Jordan Love definitely has not. He's had 3 good games. He's coming back to earth against the Giants. He's throwing 4 picks today. But yeah, that's going to be the key matchup.
No, and that's a great bet. Here's like he had the interception last time we played you guys, and like it was the same coverage over and over. But what's interesting to me about that matchup, because like I put like the players or whatever to watch, I do that every week, and that was one because it's like for us, we like to attack the middle so much, but it's so hard to attack the middle against your defense. It makes me think of the Baltimore game. Like their linebacker play was so good. It was like, hey, we're going to get one-on-ones on the outside, but we love to play through the middle of the field. So now it's like, okay, now we have to be a little bit different than what's normal for us. But you bring up that Sam Laporta stat. So what you're saying is my prop bet picks of him going over 4 reception this week was a good pick, because I'll say this, his least productive game of the season was against you guys. He didn't do anything until the final 2 drives of the game. You guys were backed up a little bit. He started going a little bit, but that was his least productive game. Outside of that, he's been good every game. So you're telling me he's going to cook today. That's what you're telling the Lions fans. Sam Laporta's going crazy.
I mean, I hope he doesn't cook, but yeah, there's that chance. There's that chance. Like the crazy parlay that we made. There's a chance.
Yeah, there is a chance. Okay. So we got to wrap it with this. Then we'll get you out of here. I want to ask you this: can you give me a score prediction for this game? If you got to pick the Lions, that's fine. Look, we're not. You know what I mean? Like we're not like one of these people that's like, oh, don't pick the Lions. You're a bear. You can pick the Lions. You know what I mean? We're cool with that. Go ahead.
Deon, I'm not picking the Lions. Come on, man.
Okay. All right.
No, but I did say on Roundtable this week that I think it's going to be probably one of the most entertaining games of the season so far. It was super entertaining at Ford Field. Shout out to the Lion, man. Like you got, it's fun to watch you guys. That game hurt because it was me on the other side, but every other game that I've watched this year has been very entertaining, very fun to watch. I think that it's going to be a very high scoring game. And I said it, I'm a 30-point guy. Like I think it's going to be a 30-plus matchup on each side of the ball. I think it's going to be, what did I say? I said 38-35. It's going to be a field goal. Cairo Santos knows that field. Also, I want the extra points to hit on the parlay. I know that was kind of that was a big factor right there. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game. Like I think the defenses will play well. I know the score is not going to say it, but I think the offenses it's going to be electric today. It's going to be a super run heavy game because of the weather. That rain is definitely going to be a factor, or the mist is going to be a factor, and then that heavy wind off from the north, it's going to fly through that tunnel. Whoever is going south, which I pray that the Bears are going south at the second half of the game, because it's going to be a huge impact on kicking. and throwing for any. If you're thrown into that Soldier Field win, it's tough.
See, and that's why I think our parlay actually might hit, because we kind of went off going over on everything there. Like, that feels like something that would be right. Hey, man, I appreciate you joining again. Hey, first off, we got a lot of Bears fans representing in here, so shout out to them. They probably came for you, honestly, Nick, here. And I just want to say, man, shout out your channel. Let them know where you're from and where they can find you. Or not where you're from.
Thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks for having me on, Dion. You can find us at Just Another Year Chicago Bears on YouTube and Official Jay Shy on Twitter. We like to have a lot of fun over there, and the road to the playoffs begins today, and it runs through Chicago. Right? That's what we're all saying here.
Okay. All right, no one's saying that. All right, man.
I'm thinking it into existence.
No, you should. You absolutely should. And I appreciate you joining, man. We'll have to do this again sometime. Hopefully Wednesday we're talking about a Lions win. I'll see you then.
I'll see you guys then. Good luck today.
All right, thanks. You too. Hey, man. So look, Let's Talk Lions is here. Hey, we might have another guest. I don't know if I told you or not that Speakeasy may be joining today.
Oh, you did not.
He may be joining today. So we might have an extra guest going. How are you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Good. I'm good. Happy birthday, bro.
See, wait, how do you know that?
Listen, dude. I mean, I'll tell you off air. I know everything though.
Hold up. See, now here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Look, no. See, I was already like, "What's going on?" Okay, we don't have to go into all the details. But yesterday, I was so confused. And actually, he'll be here for the live stream chat today. Michael Banks is here.
No way.
Yeah, he's here. I was like, yo, so it was like family, and we had a surprise birthday, and then all of a sudden he walks in the back door. I'm like, no way, dude. This guy is here. So yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. We're gonna do that. But I'm assuming my sister got in contact.
She did, yeah, she did. She hit me up and I couldn't make it, which I was super bummed, but bro, happy birthday, man. I wish I was there.
No, man, hey, I appreciate it. That's enough, man. I appreciate it. No, that was wild. That was wild. You know what? The only issue is this. Like, I didn't sleep last night. That's the issue we have right now. You know what I mean?
Really?
I just did not sleep at all.
Well, hey, good for you. Good for you.
But it's the Lions game. It's always easy to not go on sleep when the Lions are playing. It's fine because you have that energy, and then afterwards you want to.
You're laying in bed and you're like doing the math of like, okay, if like this is how we win the division, and you just sit there at night, and it's a beautiful mind. It becomes a beautiful mind, is what it is.
I want to throw this right at you. Let's just get right into it. I want to ask you this question. Hey, I appreciate you, chat. I appreciate you guys. It's not technically my birthday yet. They just did the surprise early because it was supposed to surprise me. But I appreciate you guys. Let me ask you this question. So, chat, answer this as well. I saw Jameson Williams said he thinks he could get Tyreek Hill in a race. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he thinks he could beat Tyreek Hill. Now, I'm going to give you a little background. Let me give you a little statistic I pulled up. So I think Tyreek Hill has the highest miles per hour clock this year, just over 21 miles per hour. I read back in college that Jameson Williams clocked over 23 miles per hour on a 94-yard touchdown. I think it was against Miami. So I'm just if you want a little background, but you've seen them both play. Do you think that he could actually get him in a race?
Listen, after that 30-yard dash that J-Mo Supermaned into the end zone last week, I believe it all day. That kid can fly, yo. Man. Dude, I was like, why aren't we running this play every freaking play? It just
Yo, like that's gotta be normal. First play of the game, bop, just give him the football. Like
100%.
Just find a way to give him the football. Absolutely. Yeah, when you see stuff like that, it's crazy. All right, I wanted to start there. Now, okay, this is the next question I have for you. So we're looking at this NFC North. You talked about it. I mean, you do that every night. Yeah. You're going through how the Lions can make the play.
100%. I actually wrote out a sheet for my wife. I was like, Andrea, I was like, here you go. Here's everything. I gave it to her at like 7 a.m. yesterday. She said, not now. She's like, let's just wait until later. And I was like, you're right. It's pretty early. I'm not kidding.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. No, that's amazing. That's okay. So look, I'm going to ask you this then. And, we look at the Lions remaining schedule. All right. Yeah. If we look at the Lions remaining schedule, and I can pull it up on the screen. What do you predict for these next 5 games, just as a whole? What are we thinking here, record-wise? I can go through. I'll read the 5 out loud just for everybody listening real quick. So we have Chicago today. Then we're home versus Denver. Then we're back on the road for Minnesota. And then we're back on the road again for Dallas. Then we come back home for Minnesota to wrap up the season. So what are we looking at for those final 5?
All right. So my OG prediction coming into this year was 11-6, right? Mm-hmm. We're sitting at 9 right now. 2 of these W's are sitting there for us. At least one against Minnesota, and it should be today against the Bears.
Yeah.
However, the Denver game is the oddball game to me, where I'm like, if Denver shows up in the way they have been the last couple weeks, I'm like, that's gonna be a stalwart of a fight. You know, that's gonna be really tough. However, if I did the math correctly, I think I'm going to the Denver game. I don't know. Are you gonna be there?
I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be there. You're going to the Denver game, though?
I'm going to the Denver game. Yeah.
What? Okay. Oh, no, I'm not going to be there. I got to go to Indy that day. So I'm going to be watching it from Indy.
Ooh.
That's awesome, though. That's awesome.
Okay, so like I was thinking, I'm like, all right, if both the Packers and the Vikings lose today, we beat the Bears, we come into that game against Denver, we could clinch the division. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're
so
not wrong.
I want to be at Ford Field so bad when we clinch the division because, bro, I've already taken a PTO day the next day where I'm in jail. I said, boss, I'm in jail. I'm using PTO. It'll be a riot.
Oh, my goodness. So hey, look, dude, I love that. See, I wasn't even looking at it like that because honestly, today, I absolutely could be wrong. I picked the Giants over the Packers. That was supposed to be a legit pick. I really think the Giants, but then I took Minnesota. But like, I was just looking at it like this. We beat Minnesota twice. That's it. We win the division. Yep. That's all we got to do. You know, so it doesn't matter the other 3. But I like that even better. Let's clinch that thing early because to your point, if like even worst case scenario, right? They win their games, we win ours. If we win the next 3, we can go to Dallas. That game won't even matter for the division.
Won't matter.
Then we can step back and do that. Where's everybody else at? Can we get the 1 seed? Then we can make that decision. Clinching 2 weeks early, I'm going to go with that. But to me, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just like, if we can clinch early, it makes me think of the guys like Aleem McNeil. It makes me think of the guys like Ragnow, right? Like, sit them. Let them rest. Let them heal up. Let's get them where they need to be in order to run into this postseason as healthy as can be. Like, if you can go into Dallas and Minnesota, those last 2 games, and be able to say, hey, do we want to sit Frank today? Or do we want to, obviously we don't need Goff getting crushed, but what can we do to protect these guys? So I'm like, man, if we could clinch, if we could clinch early, get Graham Glasgow more snaps in over here, over there, because we're hitting our ninth combination of an O-line this week. And I'm like, bro. So I
don't know. That's a lot. I hope it's not 9. Is it 9?
I think it's 9. I think this is our 9th combination of O-lines, starting O-lines.
Oh, goodness.
So
that's a problem.
Those are just some of my thoughts. I think the Lions do win 3 of these games. However, if we could at least just snag 2, I'll take them against Minnesota.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, am I legging out? Let me make sure I'm not legging out before I try to put our guy Easy in the building. Am I good?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Okay. So, hey, first off, man, I appreciate y'all chat. I saw my man Austin was in the building. I was not expecting that. Shout out to you. Hey, I didn't expect to see you in here. I had to double take. Like, who is that? Like, oh, snap, you're in the building. Hey, I appreciate you, man. It's good to see you. It's good to hear from you, man. I appreciate that. We got Easy in the building.
Wow.
Look, man, this is like the SpongeBob moment. The gang's all here right now. You know what I mean? I feel like I need some finger puppets. We're back, man. And Easy's with us. Easy, look, I haven't talked to you in a minute, so we got to ask you this question because I asked this for Let's Talk Lions immediately. Could Jameson Williams beat Tyreek Hill in a race?
Ooh. Long distance, yeah, I'd take J-Mo. It's like shorter distance, definitely Tyreek Hill. I feel like if you got like enough like length to go down there, like J-Mo could probably catch up to him. But in a shorter stance, like Tyreek is just insane.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay. No, I mean that makes sense. That's kind of how I was thinking about it too.
Yeah, he's got those long strides. He almost like floats. Where like Tyreek is like it's different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
I don't have a mic today too. I apologize, guys.
Oh no, you're good. You got the background. You look good. Okay. I'm not gonna do this yet, but I wanted to throw like a list of picks for the like games that are coming up, and I want y'all to like make some picks with me through the spreads. We'll do that in a second. But I want to also ask you this question. So we were talking about this upcoming schedule, Easy, and just in general, when you're looking at it, I mean, what's kind of your prediction for the next 5?
Prediction for the next 5?
Yeah, final 5 of the season.
I think we go 4-1. Combination 4-1.
That's money. We'll take
Is that cool? Is that
We're not
cool?
losing.
Oh my!
I mean, that, I rock with it. I mean, as long as the loss isn't to Dallas, is that the loss you're giving us, Dallas?
No, actually, for some reason, like I get coined as like the Lions hater. I feel like I'm just more realistic, but I really think we have a recipe to like whoop Dallas's ass as long as like we're fully healthy going in there. Now it's expecting a lot, but I hope that Houston's back by then. I mean, this is like all hopes, obviously, but I hope that Houston's back by then. Hope that CJG is back by then. I don't know what's going on with Frank, like specifically in terms of like timetable.
Yeah,
but it'd be cool for him to be back that by that time too, because like they really haven't played like any winning teams and beaten them. The only winning team they beat, I actually don't even think. I don't think they. Oh, Seattle. Seattle's like sub 500, like officially as of like lately too. So it's not like Seattle's a world beater, and that was a close game. And if you watch that game, like you scratch your head on some of those penalties. There were quite a few flags in that one. So like. I think the Detroit Lions like play style. I'm big on matchups and coaches and quarterbacks, and you go into those kind of things. Like San Fran took it to Dallas, and they're big on running the football. That's how San Fran beat the dog shit out of them. You gotta eliminate Micah Parsons from the game. You do that by running the football. What are we great at? Running the football. So like, F Dallas for life. F the Bears for life. Listen, the only one I'm really nervous about for us is the Chicago game, and maybe in Minnesota. That's it.
Hey,
yeah, I'm with you.
Chicago, where there's Justin Fields, there's a way.
Yeah,
it's
outside too, man. I know people hate the narrative, but like, I just don't know what to expect from our guy today.
I hear you.
What guy?
You know, yeah. You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do it. You can do it. You can do it.
What guy?
JG16. He might be straight. He might be straight. The Baltimore game wasn't a good resemblance of that, but we'll see, man. We got a squad.
Okay, so just quick point. You brought up Dallas. I think you made actually like because that in a weird way. So you brought up the Russian football. I wasn't even gonna go there, but I think you made a good point. But I think of the Chargers game. Like you look at that matchup. We came into that. The focus was Joey Bosa. It was they have Khalil Mack and they have Tui Pelotu. That's gonna be a problem to deal with. And they did nothing to us. Right? There was no pressure.
Yeah.
Now our tackles handle business, but like that specific game plan to get the ball out as quickly as we were able to. It makes me think of how Seattle did it. Like Micah Parsons was winning. But they couldn't get hands on Geno Smith because the ball was out so fast. And then on top of that, like you have to deal with their pressure, all the screens. Man, we throw so many screens. Like we have all the answers at screen. We have all the creative screens that you can design. So I like that you said that. I was just hoping that you weren't going to give us the loss to Dallas there.
No, I think Dallas over it. I mean, they're good, but I think we have a good matchup against them.
Hey, is this true? Like this guy Bo Booth saying Bugs and Martin Anzalone is playing? Is Anzalone
playing?
Anzalone and Martin are playing. I don't know about Bugs. I hope so with Bugs though.
Yeah, I was trying to find I haven't seen the inactives yet, so I think they're kind of projecting because here's what we do know so far. We know that Bohanna is not signed to the active roster, so he's run out of days to be elevated, so he's not going to play. So I'm assuming they're projecting on that, and then of course the Aleem McNeil injury. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that because to me, I'm looking at this one like I think one, if there is going to be a game for Levi to pop, this is the game for him to pop. Like, no question. Their interior offensive line, I don't love it. I think they have issues at center. And then on top of that, I just think a guy with that kind of quickness can separate against this offensive line. I think we've seen flash success there. So to me, like if Levi's going to get his chances, the game to pop. And then the Broderick Martin thing to me is just choosing Broderick over Bohanna. It's just simple as that. They're playing with Broderick today, and they're probably just not going to play Bohanna. Is that how you look at it too?
Yeah.
Yes. With Levi, I am a little bit nervous because I feel like we haven't seen him at all this season outside the beginning of the year. I could be wrong on that one. If he has been out there, I haven't really noticed him. I think Pascal's a guy who could play a little bit interior for you and get a little bit of a rush from there too. But
true.
I probably Pascal or hopefully Bugs, man. I don't know what the situation with Bugs is. It's really weird, but I'm hoping he's one that can get going and just leave him at that point. I mean, he felt like almost a leader for this team a little bit last year. At least I know he was giving those pre-game speeches. Like it's weird to see him go through whatever situation he's going through right now with the coaching staff or just get on the field. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, it is weird. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? Let's talk Lions.
No, what with Bugs?
No, I mean, just the whole interior defensive line situation. Like, what are your takeaways from who's up, who's down kind of deal?
Bro, the interior defensive line, losing McNeil blows. Like, obviously, he is such an unsung hero. And I think Lions fans, diehards, understand his impact and his value. But like most people probably won't know, even like the amount of announcers who I just never hear. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
You know, okay. Huh.
So yeah,
So no Bruce Irvin or Charles Harris.
Yeah, Bruce Irvin didn't get bumped up.
Yeah.
Here was my take, and this is again, I could be wrong. My thought on that was they probably need more spots just for bodies on the interior. Because I'm thinking they're like Levi, we know he's playing, he's usually a healthy scratch, so is Broderick. I'm thinking they're just gonna rotate these dudes. Like I don't think it'll be one guy the whole game. I'm thinking they're bringing
get them reps.
Yeah.
Get them reps. I want to see Broderick Martin more, especially like from what I understand, Chicago's run game. Like, hey, if we could shut that down with a guy like with Broderick, he's huge. I like him in there, especially without McNeil. I think that's a solid selection.
Yeah, I think I was thinking on Broderick this morning too, and because he is a giant human being, I think he also helps with like Justin Fields' ability to just take any type of pocket he wants to run. Just because it almost feels like he takes almost two pockets. I know that sounds crazy, but like he's just like, was that movie Everywhere and Everything at Once or something like that?
Yeah. It's on Amazon now. There you go.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. I fell asleep the first time, but it felt like it was going to be good.
Dude, no, I think that's a good point though, because bro, the dude is massive. So you make a point, and then he has length that like, okay, we have Bohanna, but this guy is built a little bit different with how long that guy is. So you're right, maybe it's a little bit of that too. I always look at it from the aspect of like, if anybody could take up multiple gaps, it should be a guy like that. So all of a sudden, it should free somebody. It should free somebody at the linebacker position because we all know that's going to be a key in this game. All right.
You ever see like the tape where like guys like they're getting double teamed, but then they push like their blocker into like the runner? I think he's like one of those like type. He has like that capability. So I think maybe with Justin Fields, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of the Bruce Irvin thing? Or keep talking what you're saying. I apologize.
No, you're good. Bring it up, man.
I think Bruce is old, and like at 36 years old, his body is beat to heck. So like after he almost obliterated Carr, I think honestly though, it was like something happened with his ankle. I saw that he had a little bit of an ankle injury that he was nursing this week, and so I don't know, maybe the body just can't handle the amount that we were asking him to do, and so he gets bumped down to try to get a little bit healthier here. That would be my thought, but I loved what I saw out of him. He created some pressures, got that sack. Like,
I'll say this. This is my one take on that. And I could be off. Someone I think kind of said in the chat, is Alawalo playing? I don't think so. I think they said it's going to take a few weeks with that, man. But I think here's my only take on that is I think not having Irvin is leaning more into their plan usually against Fields. Like it's different when you play Fields. Like you can't rush outside the pocket. You have to play through tackles because once you go around, he's taken off. So I think especially if you're playing guys like Martin, because he might be massive, but he's not going to match him if he starts to go through, by their left guard. He's not going to be able to keep up with him. So I think for them, they're going to lean into like, kind of like we just said, okay, we don't see Charles up either, but Josh Pascal, they put the big dudes and they're trying to play right through tackles because they don't want to go around anybody. And I don't think that's Bruce Irvin's strength, but it also could be the injury too. I mean, is that what you think, Easy? You think it's more of what do you think that situation is? I
mean, I think so. I'm pretty cool with Justin Rogers from Detroit News, and he talked to Bruce Irvin like after his he was missing Wednesday, I think it was, but it's for a drug test. He played so well. His 11 snaps. NFL was like, "Hey, can you pee in this cup for us? Because that doesn't make sense at 36 years old." But he said he was a
lot of ibuprofen.
He practiced Thursday and Friday and said he expected to play. But I've heard what you said before, Dion. I guess I should say I read what you said before. Maybe I just respect your opinion more because now I bought into like when you finally said it. Is like, maybe he's not a guy who sets the edge as well as like Pascal plays inside and outside. So maybe they pick Pascal to play outside today, and he sets an edge because Fields can run. So maybe that does make a little bit more sense. And his body is banged up too, so maybe a combination of it all, really. But you sold me. I was all pissed off about it yesterday, but you're probably more than likely right.
Dude, I was confused too though because Banks was showing me the post, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But like, I only say that just because you watched back last time we played him. Josh Pascal was so involved in that game. And it's just like it's a whole different skill set. And I think you see it more now because so many teams have these types of quarterbacks like Philly and stuff where you're all you have to attack the same way. But I always go back to a quote, and I don't know the quote on top of my head, so it's gonna be wrong. But I remember Aaron Glenn, like his first year here, was like, we want guys that not rush around the pocket, they rush through the pocket basically. Like they have to be able to win through because there's so many players in the league like that now. It's like I just think it's different when you deal with, and Fields is different. Like Fields is just he's gonna run the ball. If he's gonna run the ball more than anybody you'll face.
It looks like a Looney Tunes episode every time I watch him out there against us. Freaking drives me nuts, dude.
You could put the music in the background for his highlights, like
yeah.
He's better than I thought. That's for sure. I definitely respected him, but like the last time he was out against us, I was like, oh, that's a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a problem. Okay, so let me ask you this then, and then I want to get some picks from you guys. But give me. I know I'm putting you guys both on the spot here. Let's talk lines. You're used to this, so you got this. But I'll go to you first. Then I'll go to Easy. Give me a matchup that you're looking for in today's game. Give me a specific matchup. Maybe it's just position. Maybe it's a player. Maybe just a player on the Lions. You're like, yo, him versus whoever he's going against. Give me like a matchup you're focused on today.
Yeah, Jack Campbell. I mean, what we saw out of him,
yeah.
I think last week was so it was just encouraging, right? Like seeing what he was able to do in a situation where Anzalone isn't playing. Because I thought he was given green dot. I thought he was the green dot for this week. I might be wrong, but I thought I saw somewhere that he has been given the green dot. He'll be the guy, and I want to see the way that he operates and just matches up against Fields, being able to play that run option or the keep option. Is Fields going to chuck it? Is he going to run it? Like, what's the play, and how does Jack Campbell respond to a mobile quarterback like Fields as probably our number one, right? So I think Campbell's going to be huge in this game.
And it was weird to just say, piggyback on what you just said. We all saw it last time we played. Jack Campbell doesn't miss tackles. It's like a special trait of his. He just always stays on his feet. First drive of the game, he was like 2 or 3 tackles. It's like, what the heck's going on here? I get it's a different animal in Fields, but I love that. All right, Easy. What do you got?
For matchup, I want to go with Sam Laporta versus the Chicago Bears linebackers because they got an athletic bunch. I mean, the duo of them for sure. You got TJ Edwards from the Eagles. Obviously, they were in the Super Bowl last year. And then you also have Tremaine Edmonds, who's a tremendous athlete. And last game out, I'm pretty sure he had like the 18 yards. The one interception for Jared Goff came off of him getting bumped off his route. They're kind of bullying him out there. Made him actually look like a rookie for once. So, like, I kind of want to see Laporta. That's one thing I was listening to him speak. He credits like Alex Anzalone for like a lot of the things that he's been able to develop because like anytime he got shut down in practice, he went to Anzalone and was like, yo, how'd you do that?
Really?
How do I fix this? And so like he had that experience with the Chicago Bears linebacker. So hopefully, second time around, maybe he learns from it because I think he's gonna be pivotal for the passing game today. If the weather's like what they're saying it's gonna be.
Yeah. No, I mean, and we were talking about the Bears guy before we got on here. Like Sam Laporta was his least productive. Like you said, he looked like a rookie. He was the least productive game against Chicago last time.
Yeah.
And I told this Let's Talk Lions. I don't think you were in here yet, but like when I look at Chicago, it reminds me of Baltimore just because like their linebacker play is so darn good. And it's like every interception was the same coverage defensively. If I was tracking this yesterday, like the first 15 defensive plays were the same coverage over and over. They just kept running against us. They're just taking away the middle field and they're going to go one-on-one to the outside. But it's just like we don't play that way. So we saw Josh early. It's like how do we find it? They're gonna have a different plan. Like they'll have something different this game. But like it feels like Sam Laporta is that matchup piece if there is a guy. So I look, here's a guy I'm looking at Derek Barnes. I know we're all talking linebackers, but I think you have to. I just bring up Barnes because he was the guy last time that played on the line of scrimmage. He probably will again. It seems like he's a little more natural there. He's getting some pass rush now. Barnes might have found a little bit of spot.
Yeah.
I got a question for that after we're done too.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. You can throw the question.
Well, because how they're playing they're playing Jack at the Sam.
Yeah.
But it always felt like Barnes kind of like a natural, like I guess ability to get the quarterback. Like how come? I guess that wasn't the swap. You know what I'm saying? They put Jack back in the middle where he's played his entire life, and then let Barnes go off ball or on ball, I should say. I don't know. What would you think about that? Or is that?
No, I think it's a really solid question because I didn't think Jack Campbell played well. Like when Jack Campbell played on the line, that was the game against Baltimore. I thought he looked lost. Like he was just late to everything. I felt like, and then it was like you put him back, like you're saying, an off ball. Just let him keep getting reps there because like you need. I feel like you gotta like stack those in the NFL. It's just different, like to feel stuff off schedule. I don't know if that's there right now, but it's like that's where he's gonna be the dude. But like for Barnes, I thought last time we played Chicago, his issue was their tight end position. Like we talk about their tight ends, all the stuff that they block at the line and then they release. There was like times where he'd be on the ground or he was like kind of like running, but he didn't know who he had. He's just like running one direction because everything's rollout and he's just running a direction. It's like, okay, but someone has to watch Fields. You can't not watch Fields against this team. Yeah. That's the issue I had. My man Zach said, do you trust your boy Barnes over Reeves Maven? Honestly, no. Not as an off-ball linebacker. Definitely not. Not after last game. I thought Reeves Maven was amazing.
Yeah, he was electric. He was everywhere.
I hate it because like I'm a Barnes fan. I love the way he's grown. But like no, like not against teams like this. There's certain teams where I trust him more than others. Against teams that I know that are consistently go at him over and over and over because they're always going to move the pocket. I trust Jalen right now. But at the same time, I think Barnes on the line. I think physically there's no comparison. Like you wouldn't want to put Jalen in that spot. He's not going to get any pressure. You probably won't stop the run from there. I mean, is that your take on it too easy?
Yeah, essentially the same thing. And Jalen, like I don't know, his energy just seems like infectious out there. Like
goodness.
He just feels he's always making a big play. Like he's athletic enough to cover. I think he's a bigger body guy as well.
Yeah.
You asked us our matchups we wanted to see. What was yours?
Yeah. Who's mine?
Yeah. You asked me.
Oh, I said. Mine was Derek. Mine was Derek Barnes against this offense.
Okay.
I mean, I did. Here, look. I was gonna throw it out there. Yeah, I just gotta throw it out there. I did way too much. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Let's talk Lions seasons every week. But these, I was like, you can't stop once you get going, man. This is what I'm looking for. But I think we can talk through all these though. Brian Branch was massive. Here, you guys look through it. Tell me what stands out here. Brian Branch was massive. Alex Anzalone was, I thought, awesome last game. We already talked about him. That nose tackle position, we don't have a lean now. So who's that nose tackle specifically? Because I'm looking at Bohanna's not up. We're talking about a young guy. And as much as they like to rush to the outside, once it goes to the inside, that's their weakest spot of this offensive line to me. Lucas Patrick is not good as a center. I saw Benito get some pressure on him. I'm like, hold up, that's Benito Jones. If he can get pressure, Broderick might be able to do something. I mean, someone can do something there. The cornerback position, same reasons. The zone coverage, like, man. Okay, I want to ask you guys this question. I just want to know if you guys have any thoughts on this because I don't know if I couldn't tell what he said at the beginning of the presser, but Kendall Vilder was signed to the active roster. And there's a part of me that when I saw that move, I was like, I think he gets snapped this week. I think he plays that corner this week because if they're not going to go with Dorsey, I think I think the issues that we have defensively in a positive is you keep seeing them, but they're the same thing seemingly over and over. I think to a point, like it wouldn't be the worst thing to just get some looks at other corner. I love Jerry, but I'm just saying maybe just give some snaps to somebody else just to see what it looks like. To me, I would give snaps to Kendall. He is. And I think to me, like this week, I would give Kendall Vilder snaps. Like, do you guys think that's a possibility? And also, do you know if that's what there was like a media presser this week? I couldn't understand who they were talking about because like they cut off the beginning. You know how they do that. They just like start talking about a player.
That's who
I had no idea what they were talking about. It was? Okay.
Yeah. It was about Kendall Vilder, or however you say his last name. Sounds like a Harry Potter villain.
Wait. Is it a Harry Potter villain? Let's talk Lions. You would know. Is this?
You know what? Yeah, that does sound like a Harry Potter villain. As I am playing through Hogwarts Legacy, which is exactly right here, right now, at all times.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. No, that does. That's a villain for sure.
Yeah,
he's Slytherin, but like, I don't want to do the thing where I'm just like, oh, he's Slytherin, but like that's a Slytherin name. You know what I'm saying? Because not all Slytherin are bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's just.
Yeah, let's put the hat on.
I mean, Merlin was a Slytherin. I digress.
No, but I had to look it up too, Dion, because it kind of started the press conference in the middle of him speaking about it, and I was like, "What?
Yeah,
who are we talking about here? Like, what's going on? They talking about me? Are they talking about me right now?"
That's what I'm saying. They do that. I have no idea what we're talking about, man. I'm telling you. But do you guys look at that? I'm specifically talking about Jerry, but do you guys look at someone else? Not saying start over him like bench Jerry, but to just maybe get some snaps, just rotate him in a little bit, just see if you got something. Because I think when we get to week 17, 18, if we're still having some issues there, it'd be nice to just know if you have another option, or even if something popped up, just to know if you have someone that you could slide in just to change the pace a little bit, give him a different look for that receiver. I mean, is that what you guys kind of look at too? For me, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about that. Especially like I've said, listen, I love Jerry Jacobs. I think he's an absolute dog. I think he's been struggling a little bit just as of lately. Even last week against the Saints, there were some things that I was just watching where I was like, man, it didn't seem like he was dialed in fully. Like I'm not trying to speak ill about the man because I do love him and his play. It was just, I've just been seeing a lot of struggle. So why not get Vilder in there in order to see what you got, especially as we're going into playoffs. We got 5 games left, man. Like anything can happen. Any of these guys can get hurt. You look at CJ Gardner-Johnson going down early week 2. So like, why not see what else we have, especially against the Bears in a rainy day?
That's true. That's actually a good point. I mean, what do you think on that?
I kind of, the only thing, I don't know. I want to see him, but at the same time, like it must be bad there because like, again, no offense to people. I rather like Detroit Lions I got to meet. This guy was like one of the coolest. But like back with Baltimore, when Jerry went down for a little bit, they put in Will Harris. And
they did.
Like, why are we playing Will Harris at outside corner? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. But like, if it's if they're not confident to play anybody other than Will Harris, who doesn't even play outside corner, like when he does play corner, it's at like the nickel, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
Yep.
There must be a huge lack of confidence from like the next guy up. Because I was big on Gilmore, not big on Gilmore, but enough to like, I want to see what this kid's got. Because in preseason, I was like, you noticed him, you know what I'm saying? In good ways, in some bad ways too, but like big playmaking ways. Sometimes like guys are like that. Stephon Diggs' brother in Dallas, I mean, he's that type of quarterback. It's like he's gonna get burnt or he's gonna make a huge play. And I think maybe that was what Gilmore is. And I mean, I don't know, but I'm with you. I want to see that deadline too. I got abused for that, but I think I want to see something.
We could have used it. We could have used it. Yeah, I mean, cornerback was it wasn't even the thing. Is like you had to argue like, oh, I don't like our starter. You could have just looked at the depth and said it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to add another piece here because we expected Mosley to be here and he's not. So it's like it's not a bad thing to go add something to that.
Oh God, Mosley, I forgot. Wow, way to just drag that one out from the depths of week 3.
It'd be amazing to have him right now, man. Like he was rolling right now. Oh my goodness,
he just like looked the part too of like CB1. Like, they had the arm sleeve. He was like smooth and lanky, and then gone just like that.
That was awful, dude. No, that was all. All right, I want to do this, and just because we did this last week, and I think the chat kind of liked it, so I just decided to do it again this week. And now I got some guests with me, so I'm not the only one that's making the picks here. But I will say we are sponsored for this video. You know how it is. We got BetUS, top link in the description. If you deposit at least $100, you get 125% match up to $2,500. But the way we do this, because I want to show off their website, show you guys how it works. I want to go through this week and just pick a couple of games, and I want to get your guys' thoughts, like where you would go on specific games, like with the spread, like who you would take in those games. So, I mean, look, let's just start right here. Jacksonville, Cleveland. Let's start with this one because this one's tough. You got backup quarterbacks, it looks like in this one. Easy. It's Cleveland -1.5. Are you feeling Cleveland at home to bounce back?
Yeah, I feel like the defense has saved them a few times. And like Joe Flacco, like, I get he's same age as Bruce Irvin, but the dude that has Super Bowl, we see him going on an elite like playoff run. Like, I don't know why the Jets didn't keep him instead of Zach Wilson, but I trust him over. I think CJ Beathard looks straight, but the Cleveland Browns have done it with a backup quarterback already. So I'm
they beat the Niners.
Yeah, exactly.
They did easy. I mean, let's talk lines. Let me give you a different one. Is there a specific game that you want, or you want me to just give you one here?
Just pick one. There's too many good ones.
Let's go with the most fun game of the week now. I'm playing. Let's do this one. We're talking playoffs. Vikings at Raiders. Vikings -3.5 on the road. What are we thinking?
I gotta go Vegas on this one. I just think Josh Dobbs is being exposed completely. Last week he threw how many picks to the Bears? It was like
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 3, 4, 5. It was 3+. That's for sure. I just think that he is being exposed. And this is the thing, when Dobbs came there and he had 2, 3 good weeks, and people were like, "Oh my God, Josh Dobbs." I was like, "Listen, it's the classic. A solid backup shows up. There's no tape. They go out there and they run it like a dog for 2, 3 weeks." And then everybody gets into their Bill Belichick mind and goes, "Oh, we see you. And now we know how you operate. You've been playing backyard football. You get 3 W's. That's awesome. But now it's time to crush you." And that's where Dobbs is right now. And it's crushing season. So
you're calling Dobbs a fraud, basically. That's
I didn't say those words. You did.
I did say that.
But I'll just wink.
Okay. Look, man.
I'm behavior there.
Let's see. Okay, let's do 2 more because these are the best ones, I think. Philly at Dallas. I mean,
you give us Philly. You give us Philly at Dallas.
Look, man. Now I don't like the spread here at 3.5. If I'm doing the spread, I'm taking Philly at 3.5. But if I'm going money line, I'm absolutely taking Dallas. I think Dallas wins this game. Now, look, I think, like, here's the thing, and I think this is the easiest point. Like, he said, like, man, we could smack Dallas. So if y'all didn't see that, scroll back a little bit, watch it, because he opened it up like that with some fire. But that makes me look even more at Philly and be like, yo, I'm definitely not worried about Philly. Like, I go this based on last year week when we played Philly. I'm like, we can hang with Philly. We've already seen that, and I think they're worse now in the back end. And Jalen Hurts ain't running anymore. Like, that threat of, like, oh, he can run, but then we got A.J. Brown one-on-one if he tries to run. He's not even, like, running like that anymore. It's not like their offense. Maybe he's banged up a little bit, but to me, because of all of that, I feel very confident about us being able to go to Philly and win a football game if we have to. But I'd take Dallas in this one. Are you guys on board with that?
I'm exactly how you put it, where it's like if I'm taking the spread, I'm probably going Philly. if I'm just straight up betting who's going to win, probably the Dallas Cowboys. They've been on fire at home for like the past 2 seasons, I want to say.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you both because it's Dallas, but
Yeah.
yes.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
The point of the Lions versus Philly, though, AJ Brown terrifies me. I'll say
Yeah.
You know, Amani had like one good play when they played him last year. You know, the first play it was an incomplete pass. It was pretty good. So all right, Amani got started off strong. After that, I don't know what happened, but it was good for a play there.
Okay, man amongst boys. I look like I'm watching a senior playing against like an 8th grade middle school team. Sometimes he looks like out there.
He had so much promise. He had so much promise after that one year where he had 6 picks. Like he was looking great. I was like, man, I'm hyped on Amani. And then, you know.
A warrior.
Oh yeah, that's so unfortunate. Is he on a team anymore? I know he's with the Giants for a minute.
He went to the Giants.
I don't know.
I think we might pick him up on our practice squad a little bit ago. I could be wrong.
Stop. No way.
Wait, are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm look it up. Hold on.
Hey, wouldn't that be something? Hold up. You know what? I'm on board with it. Let's do it. I'm on board.
Oh,
with that.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville
okay. No.
Squad.
Cowboys over 27.5. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
I'll tell you what.
Makes sense.
Bills KC game. That one's got me. I'm like, man.
Oh, you're interested in that one.
A fun game to watch.
Let me.
Yeah, that game's going to be interesting. I mean, like you have a Buffalo Bills team that is struggling to connect all of the pieces. That is a great team, but just can't seem to get it going. And the moment they fired Ken Dorsey, obviously Josh Allen goes off. They have a great week, but sitting at 6-6, and there was some of that Philadelphia game where I feel like they got screwed pretty heavily. They should have walked away with a W. They lose to Philly. Now they're sitting at 6-6, fighting for a wild card spot. If they lose this, bro, I don't know if wild card, I think it's done. But KC's on a 4-game losing streak, 3-game losing streak. What is it?
Man. I know they lost to Green Bay last week on national television.
You know what? It might just be a losing streak. 2 back-to-back is what it is.
Yeah, dude. Buffalo, it's crazy. Like to even picture a playoff without the Bills. It's just wild. Like this is a must-win game for them, but they're up against it in KC, man. They're fighting for fight for my life.
Yeah, they are, dude. They are. I mean, look. I mean, so let's talk Lions. Who do you think wins that game?
Oh God! So my brother's a huge Bills fan. It pains me to say this, but I do think KC bounces back and they take the W in a very. The Bills have lost so many games in tough fashions, and I think this is just another one for them that they go to 6-7. Unfortunately,
dang,
because I love them.
So good.
Yeah, I'm probably going with KC at home. Pissed off Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I'm going with KC. I have a question for you guys too. I mean, I'm sorry, I keep asking these random questions. Was Eric Bieniemy like a big piece of what Patrick Mahomes was doing the past couple of years? Because like, gone to Washington, Sam Howell's had a few moments. Patrick Mahomes doesn't look like Patrick Mahomes of old. What's going on? Is he Bieniemy that big of a factor or what? I didn't think he was, but now I'm thinking the opposite.
This would be my take on it, and because like one, the receiving core hasn't changed a ton. I understand it's young; they don't have Juju anymore, but it hasn't changed a ton. I mean, the one thing I would probably point to is you could probably point to like if you said like route detail or like being on the same page with the quarterback and receivers. Like they're young, but that feels like something like with the coordinator that would be more on point if it was really dialed in. So that could be an issue. I know they have new tackles this year, and that's kind of a problem too. But like for me, every time I watch them, you talk about the drops. But every time we watch them, it feels like they're off schedule. They're just like not on the same page. Yeah. Holmes is so good off schedule. It's only him and Travis that seem to have that connection right now.
Yep.
Hey, look, and you're right. Howell's played well this season. Yeah, he is. He is. I took Buffalo.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, I like it. Hey, man, let's go Buffalo.
Man,
yeah, I'm with that too. Or where you guys have the AG stuff? I always get the fire AG comments in my live chats. I'm not a big fan of it.
I love AG, and I understand where people are pissed and defensively we're struggling, but it is the aspect of our team that we are trying to rebuild. And one thing that I've seen is like there's not a ton of explosive plays. And AG talked about it this week. He's like, yeah, obviously we're 25th, 24th in the league defensively with like stopping other teams. If you can't stop the Saints, like there's a lot of struggle there. Again, we didn't have Anzalone. We're losing guys, but all teams are losing guys at this point. So it's not like a fair thing to be like, oh, you don't have your whole, of course it's week 13, 14, whatever it is at this point, 13. So I think Aaron Glenn, I like him. I like what he has brought to this team. When he started, we had the worst defense in the NFL, and that was just what it was. Then the next year, he improves that defense, starts getting it, a little bit better. You look at the back half of the season, what the defense was able to do, only letting up 18 points a game. This year, we're seeing some of those woes kind of coming back. I just think as a whole, Aaron Glenn takes a lot of heat that I don't know if he deserves all of it. I like him. I like him. And as we start getting the offense is rolling, the offense is in a position with players and pieces that it should be rolling. Defensively, we still need a few key players to get it to where it needs to be. And I think AG is doing a pretty darn good job with what he's got.
Hey, so I'll say that this is the one thing with AG, and I think why Campbell likes him. There's a sense that makes me think this, because Aaron Glenn seems to just buy into his players so much that he's gonna trust them. And so we're talking about blitzing. That's not to say that he blitzes all the time, but the situations that you watch, and I realized he was doing this for weeks now. Like last week gets exposed a couple times, like Kirby on Chris Olave, because they bring a blitz and leave him one-on-one. And I didn't love that. But then I go back and I'm watching other weeks. I'm like, yo, he was doing this for weeks now. It seems like he just has so much confidence, and maybe that could be an issue at times, believing in your guys so much. No, dude, give him some help. We don't need to do that. I get questions at times, when he's blitzing and not when you play New Orleans, Chris Olave was the one guy you had to take away. Nobody else is really that threatening with their health with that. So I get questions about that. But I'll say this to your point, Let's Talk Lions. You hate to say it, but the truth is, I don't think our defense is bad personnel wise that we really need. And we just haven't really been able to really invest in those spots. Like Emmanuel Mosley being injured. I mean, we didn't invest that heavily there, but if he was healthy, this thing's different. Because we have two legitimate corners. Yeah. There's that aspect. And then if you look at our defense, I mean, not much has changed from last year. You got Jack Campbell in there. He's been I guess the main difference. And, he's kind of bounced around because of James Houston's injury. The only real difference to the back end is Brian Branch is starting. That's the only real difference. I mean, Cam Sutton's been a solid piece. He's been an upgrade. But Brian Branch, I think, has completely changed the defense because of how good he's been. So it feels like they just there needs to be a little bit more added to that group. So I'm not off AG yet. There's certain spots where I have questions, but I just think he believes in his guys like crazy. Is that how you feel, Easy? Because you brought it up. I mean, are you on the AG
where I've
train?
been. Yeah, I got the defend the Glenn thing going. It's not because I think AG is this world-class defensive coordinator. I think he's the best in the world, but I see a lot of things that you guys see too. It's a personnel situation, and then they try to address him too. They added CJ, they went and signed Mosley, and both those guys went down. That's not really on AG and Dion. I didn't even said it this way as a defending Glenn guy, but yeah, for the most part, this is the same defense they rolled out last year, outside of Brian Branch and minus James Houston, by the way, too. But yeah, outside of Brian Branch and Jack Campbell, who are both rookies, by the way.
Yeah, CD Deuce isn't playing, as someone brought up in the chat. Most of it's the exact same as last year. I mean, I don't know. It's because they have new additions, but at the same time, they're so darn young too. It's okay, our big additions are rookies. It's like that. It's still they're big additions, but Jack Campbell's a rookie. Brian Branch is a rookie.
I hate talking draft anytime before March, honestly. I just hate it. I think it's the worst, especially right now when the Lions are sitting at 9-3. But let's just say it for what it's worth. Draft this year, I just want to focus on defense, and I agree with Zach Ion. I don't know if we need to draft a kicker. We just need a friggin' kicker who can get it past 50 yards, bro. I sit there and I'm like, Riley Patterson drives me nuts.
Yeah, he was fired up there. You were struggling to get that out. I mean,
I even did the hand. I felt like an Irishman in a pub.
I've never seen that before. I mean,
just a regular any Irish dude in a pub. That's it.
Okay.
I want to get to the quarterback. I want to. Sorry. Here we go. Whew.
No. Look here. Okay. I want to ask y'all this though, because this is something we're dealing with without Frank right now, and I think in this game in particular, we have to talk about it just a little bit. So here's the one difference I'll point out for the chat. Colby Sorsel did play last time we played Chicago. I'm not saying he played good, but he was at left guard. I think it's worth mentioning that he has flipped since that time. So, again, it's not to say he's played good at right guard, but he has flipped. I don't think it's a scary interior defensive line, but my issue with this is this. I look at their interior defensive line. I don't think it's that great. I think it's like their weakest spot of the defense. But if all of a sudden you're struggling there and that becomes a strength, now you have a problem because now you don't have like an area that's really weak for them defensively. So that's the concern I have. But that's my optimism. It's like, okay, Colby's at right guard. He's played a couple of weeks. They're going to keep leaning with him. Like, are you guys concerned about that? I mean, especially with the weather. We're talking about the weather. We're going to be trying to run the football. You're concerned about it. Okay.
Yeah, Colby interior, like, I get he's a rookie, but I also don't even know what to expect out of him because was he like a 5th round pick out of William and Mary? Like,
yeah.
He was like a tackle out of William and Mary too. They're moving him to the guards. Like, it's new positioning. It's new level of football. Like William, there's one thing coming from like collegiate football to like the NFL, but from William and Mary to NFL, like I didn't know William and Mary existed until we acquired Colby Sorsdale. So it's like, yeah, I'm definitely nervous, man, because the interiors felt like that's where Chicago kind of abused us last time we played them too. So immediately when you brought that up, I kind of like let it escape from my mind. You brought it up, I just got like anxiety, like, oh fudge, dude.
Dude, no, you're right though, because that is the area where we were winning last game. Like you can watch it back, don't even look at the stats. You're like, okay, we're moving them, and I was like, wait a minute, that piece isn't there. So now I'm like, okay, hold up, because Billings is going to deal with Graham Glasgow, which could be an issue. Now you got a guy like Jones who can flash, but now he's dealing with a rookie. Look, I'll say this: the point you just made, the crazy websites that I had to clips from Colby Sorsdale playing at William and Mary. I didn't even know who he was playing. I was just calling them by the colors of their team name. I have no idea who this team is. I'm just like that. Let's talk Lions, man. Are you concerned there?
With what, the O-line?
Well, I mean, yeah, because to me, Jonah Jackson need a better. I didn't think he played that well last game. It was a tougher matchup, but he needs to ball out. Like this is a game where you should be able to say, okay, Jonah, if you're going to get paid, you know what I mean? And I like Jonah, but if you're going to get that extent, we should be able to run behind that left side of the offensive line. You got to move people. We need to lean on you in this game. This is the game I need him to be a dog. I can't have him being solid when we have these injuries, not against this team.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, and the Bears, the linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds, he came from the Bills. The guy's a dog. And so, like, you're right, because I think the run game, due to the weather, due to, easy thoughts regarding Goff in some situations, I agree. Like, the weather kind of has this, if it's wet out, Goff does scare me. And so we got to run the ball. We have to establish a dominant running game, and that starts at the O-line. It just does. And so I need Jonah Jackson to be lights out. Graham Glasgow, I've seen it in the chat, and I would agree, probably one of the best offseason signings that the Lions made. And we made some really good ones. And I think he has come in the clutch in a lot of ways. And so we need this O-line. We need this O-line to have a stellar performance today at our 9th combination. It's got to be lights out so we can get the run game going, because that's where I think we win this, is in that front trench offensively.
Yeah, that's it. We got to run the ball. We got to be able to run the ball, I should say.
Yeah. I saw a stat that Justin Fields, maybe correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I saw this in any game he's run over 100 yards. He's 0 for 5 this year.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
That just tells you how much they rely on him to sustain the team to looking like they actually have a semblance of a chance of winning, and then the rest of the team can't pull it together.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dell Technology. Are we sponsored by Dell today?
No. Hey, they're going crazy with the ads. I just showing up the weather so the people know.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks weird. I kind of like this. This is cool. Hey, no, so wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. Okay, so you brought up you didn't say his name. You didn't want to say his name, but you stuck in there. All right, you were being, you were trying not to say it, but you wanted to sneak in there. Golf. We're talking about the weather. I mean, what is your? I'm not gonna ask you like a long-term question here on golf. Like, I don't think you go there right now. I mean, I can if you go that way, take it that way. But I want to ask you specifically, like, how do you think golf performs today? Just simple as that. Like, is this a game where it's like, okay, we hear this kind of thing, but he comes in. All right, the 3 interceptions he had, I thought one was kind of whack, but 3 interceptions.
Yeah, it was.
Great linebackers. Yeah, but now he comes in, it's like, no, he takes care of last week was such a good step in that direction. Take care of football, and he's finding
Yeah.
people off schedule. Like I like you
Yep.
guys know I'm a golf guy, but like I thought he was doing things last week that I haven't really seen. I was like, oh, he's done this like 4 times now in this game.
Yeah.
We didn't come up with all of them, but like when you're like extending the play and finding a running back, I'm like, what the heck is he doing? This isn't brother. Oh, if I know, he's just making those
down to seal the game. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, the Josh Reynolds one. So I'm like, hold up. This feels like 2 things. Number one, the Saints game coming from how they play offensively. It's different because Hill, you can put a safety in the box, they're going to run the ball. It's different with Fields, but you come from a team that plays with a rushing quarterback, so you kind of already had to deal with that. Then you flip it around. It's like what Goff showed us last week, I think plays well into this game. Like, what's your confidence, Easy? Because I'm a guy that's kind of, I feel like I don't know where you're at right now for Goff.
Yeah.
Long time. I don't know where you're at, but I always feel like you're kind of like on the border with it.
Yeah, I just like he just doesn't really do anything like outside the structure of play. Typically, we saw it last week though, and I did give him credit for that. But like, just the areas he lacks just don't match up well for this game. You know, it's like one, yeah, obviously you got the weather. And I looked at like any game below like 40 degrees, he averaged like 210. He has like 11 touchdowns and like 5 interceptions. It was not great performances, right? And then like you said earlier, like the Chicago team. They take away the middle of the field, and that's where we eat as a passing game. And I don't really think Goff is like great outside the numbers. Like this is not. We don't ever see those like routes ran for us because he's just not. That's not his game, you know. So they're up against it for damn sure. Like if I had to guess like a stat line, I mean, probably around like 200 yards, or I mean even going back to the Giants and the Jets game last year. Yeah, I think he broke 200 last year with a huge yak reception by Brock Wright to seal the deal. And the Giants only had like 170 or 130. Like he didn't have that many yards in the Giants game either. It's just he doesn't do well outside, and this Chicago team that does take away the middle of the field. So I don't really know, man. We need this run game to be its best. We need Ben Johnson to be its best, and Goff to minimize the mistakes. Which I'm with you by the way too. Like in the Chicago game first time around in Ford Field, only 2 of those interceptions. I'm sorry, only one of those interceptions were really on him. Like the one Florida got knocked off his route. The other one obviously got tipped. Like I'm not abuse him for that, but it just the matchup and the weather, it just makes me a little bit nervous. But I think we still should be able to win because we wanted to move the ball against Chicago last time. We did.
Yeah, we did. No, we did. And then so just to follow up on that, then who is that dude that needs to? I mean, I think we'll then immediately think we Gibbs, right? Okay, we'll give him the football then. Just underneath passes. Like this would be the game for Gibbs. Everything's underneath. Everybody that can run slants, put him at receiver. Like just keep things in the middle, but give it to the guys that can run. So I'm thinking that. But if I said do some of those, do some Texas route. So is it going to be that, or if and I want to ask you really this question on the outside, because I know last game it was like Josh Reynolds early, like we tried to get the double move. It didn't show up on the stats. We did draw a PI early because we got him on the double move with Jalen Johnson. He's probably going to see Johnson again. So is it like if we're going to the outside and we have to win there, is it the matchup of Josh Reynolds versus Jalen Johnson, a top corner in the league, or is it more of the matchup of who's that number 2 against their number 2 rookie cornerback? Is that Jameson? Is that like who's that guy this game? Is it more Jameson now?
Probably.
Hey, 1 second, Easy. I'm gonna cut you off. Hey, let's talk. I'm sorry about that. Let's talk. Lions says he's got to dip out. So I want to do this before he dips out. I want to just quickly like get your score prediction, man. All right.
Ooh.
So we know where you're kind of sitting at.
Lions 27, Bears 24. I think we win it. I think we win this game, but I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be ugly. Everything relies on the ground. That goes for Fields. That goes for us. It's gonna be a ground game. That's my guess.
Are we winning the Super Bowl this year?
Oh no, we don't have the defense.
What? All right, you know what? Yo, you can leave.
Kick him out.
He's not leaving the chat. We're kicking him out. Right? Hey, it's good talking to you, man. I talked to you a minute, Jay.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, bro.
Easy. It was really good to see you, man.
We gotta do this again.
All right, Dose. Thanks for having me. Happy birthday, my man.
It's your birthday today? What?
It.
Oh,
no, my birthday's in it's in a little bit. It's in a little bit, but they did a surprise, and my sister invited him to come over, but obviously he's got a huge travel for that. But because I guess he knew and I didn't know about it because they set up a surprise birthday. Oh, but I'll say this, Easy, if you wanted to jump on these pregame shows, we've been doing this every week with Let's Talk Lions. Like you're invited every week if you want to join, just so you know.
Hell yeah, it'd be amazing. I started YouTube with like you guys, and
you did.
Okay.
What man? The jersey in the background, like, do you still use that setup for anything or no?
No, everything. So it was like out here where I'm at right now is couch in my basement. Then I moved everything in there, but then I've had a few people move in the basement since. So it's like Lucas from Over Sports. He was staying in the basement for a little bit. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Well, hey man, I won't hold you here too long, but I do want to. I want to get your thoughts on that because even though Jameson's stats haven't been there, it does feel like it. It feels like there's something there. It feels like there's consistency. It feels like you know what you're going to get out of him. The snaps haven't went crazy, but it just feels like it. There's just something about it. You just get that feeling things are working right now with Jameson. Is this a game for him?
I think this is just like can go off because I think if he's going to eat, obviously, well, I don't know. You tell me if I'm going to spit here, but like I feel like he works well outside, and obviously like Chicago, like, it takes that area from the inside too. So like I think if Goff could get the ball to him there, like this is a game where J-Mo can just eat. I mean, every game J-Mo can eat. He has that game breaking speed. Really, it's just like can we put him in positions to capitalize on it?
This is why I remember last week I thought the same, especially at home. I thought like, man, he was going to cook in this game. And it was mainly because like if Tyree Stevenson starts or takes like a majority of the snaps, like all of a sudden you're talking about like that guy was getting cooked by Antoine Green in college. I'm just saying, getting cooked by Antoine Green. I mean, what happens if you play James? Like that should be a whole different level. Like that you should get cooked by that guy too. So maybe today is that day because the focus does go on everything else except for that guy. So at some point it just feels like it's due for like this is his game, this is his matchup.
Yeah,
I always kind of feel that way, but this kind of feels like that. All right, I want to get you. Unless you got anything else to add, I want to get your thoughts, man. I want to get a score prediction. Where you at for this one?
I'm right with like Les Dogs Lions. I think I gave a score prediction on the show. It was 28-24.
Okay.
I'm also super biased. I hate the Bears. With every fiber of my being, but I think it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, that offense, they looked good against us last time, and I don't really know if our defense is like built to sustain success. I actually only 2 touchdowns though with all those turnovers, so I mean that is a positive. But 28-24 Lions, let's go, baby.
Dude, the issue is when those drives, like I didn't know. I was shocked that we won that game. Like it was insane that we won, but like how long those drives took for us to get off the field was so frustrating about it because we get the stops. It was like, bro, these drives are going way too darn long. So like, nah, I don't know. Like what happened last time, I don't know that happens like again. Like that's pretty insane, especially outside. I went 21-19. I got like a weird feeling. Do you remember the game we played at Chicago? I think it was like 2013 or something. And we stopped them on a 2-point conversion. For some reason, I get a vibe of that. Like something similar might happen.
Some true like Chicago stuff.
Yeah. Something like ugly 21-19. Lions don't take no field goals because of the weather or whatever. And I like Chicago will miss an extra point, and then they'll have to go for 2 and they'll lose on that. That's kind of what I'm feeling for this one.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Look, listen.
Just get a win.
I'm not one of those people like they have to win this way or blah blah. No, like a win. This is the NFL, brother. Like the football doesn't bounce even. Like we don't know what's going to happen in these games, and this is a division game where like anything can happen. Like you saw the freaking Chiefs lose to the Broncos.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes threw like 2 interceptions, whatever it was. Like division games is weird like that. So I just want to win at the end of the day, man. I don't care how it looks. I obviously hope everyone's like healthy out of it, but like. Get the W. I don't need a statement to be made. If there is, like that, I think that'd be amazing, especially being outside, because like that is obviously a concern of mine. I've made like numerous times during the stream, but like I'll take the statement if it's there to be made, but like just get the W, even if it's ugly.
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
Just hurry up and clinch that division, man. That's all we're just like. Let's just get that thing done.
Yes,
hopefully, other teams lose this weekend.
My life.
I know. It's crazy.
It's crazy to say. First time in my life.
Yo.
I mean, 25.
Yo, no, that is crazy. Yo, so I don't know what video we're watching, but someone showed it was like a graphic, but when you see it, it's different. When you see the banner that division champs that says 1993, it's like, dang, that's a long time, dude. It wasn't even the NFC North, man.
I know.
Tampa Bay was our division.
Yeah. Every Buccaneers have more NFC North titles than us, if I'm not mistaken. So, something like that.
Oh, my goodness. Look, we didn't have to bring that stat up. We were about to get out of here. We were.
All right, one more thing. Do you remember that year where like we had a chance? I think we did go to the playoffs that year, like 2013, or whatever. And like Rodgers got hurt for that little bit. Then Cutler got hurt for that little bit, and like we had like a path to like the NFC North title was like and it was like peddled with flowers, or you know what I'm saying, like we just no, we were just like, oh, we're good. We're actually gonna go this way. We like the wild card, like I was
bro. Dude, I think that was – I could be on the wrong year, and it's probably all go together. I know exactly what you're talking about when they all went down. But I remember the year we played, like, the Giants at home or something. And, bro, like, we lost the game. Like, to your point, like, we, like had the playoffs right there, and then we just completely like sold at the end. Like we've had so many of those examples just in different ways. But I can remember at the Giants game, we were walking out, everybody's just yelling "Fire Schwartz!" Like that was the end of Jim Schwartz in Detroit. Was as soon as that took place. Dude, there's so many. I mean, even with Jim Caldwell, like that year we went 9-7, and then we lost to Cincinnati at the end of the year. It's like how are we losing the Bengals? I feel like, man, just get it done. Just even if it's just a while, let's just clinch something. Let's clinch something, and then everything else, it can be a little bit easier when you watch the game. Just clinch something so we know we have a chance. Hey, man, look, I appreciate you joining easy. I gotta ask me for directions and stuff, so I'm gonna hop out of here. But hey, man, let the people know where they already know, but let the people know where they can find you.
Hey, man, I'm on Woodward Sports from 5 to 7, Woodward Heavyweights, Monday through Friday. And then I'm going to try to get more active on YouTube again, whether it's be on Dion and Let's Talk Lions or whether I fire up the heavyweights again. I definitely get more active doing my own stuff again.
No, that'd be awesome. And like I said, man, you're invited every pregame show for sure. By the way, if you guys haven't seen the heavyweights though, it's top tier, dude. It's the funniest thing ever, man. It's the most fun show because every time I go in, I already know it's gonna be like the most fun segment I've been a part of the week. It's awesome. So I'm like, honestly, man, you guys absolutely have to check that out. Your guys' chemistry too together, it's perfect. I know that sounds a little paused, but like my point is, sounds good. It's great. It's great. It's great. You get the best clips out of there. Yeah, it's fantastic. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all joining, man. We're going to be live for the game. Also, as always, top of the description, Bet US. You click that top link. If you deposit at least $100, you get 125% match up to $2,500. I'm going to run this little mid-roll. I don't even know if it's a mid-roll. It's like an end roll now at this point for Bet US, and then we're going to get out of here, man. We'll see y'all during the game. Appreciate you, Easy. And
Bet US, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. Bet US, where the game begins.
All right, chat. Hey, I appreciate y'all joining, man. We're going to get out of here. Shout out to Bet US, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Easy. Shout out to Let's Talk Lions. Shout out to Nick. You could definitely go back. One of our longer pregame shows. We're going to be live for the game, so make sure you tune in there. Stream is already up. It's posted. And we're going to have a special guest in the house. Michael Banks is going to be here in person. Michael Banks is going to be here to react to the game live with us, so I'm fired up for it, man. Stick around. Join it. It's going to be awesome. And we got more trivia questions. We got more of those. So I'll see y'all over there. We out.